I'm Ben Winslow in Salt Lake City. An 88-mile line of rail in a remote part of eastern Utah is being discussed by the nation's top court. And what they decide could impact infrastructure projects across the entire country. The U.S. Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. heard a lawsuit over a rail line thousands of miles away. The proposed Uinta Basin Railway is in eastern Utah, transporting oil from the Uinta Basin to Gulf Coast states for processing. Eagle County, Colorado, and environmental groups challenged it. Dita Seed with the Center for Biological Diversity is one of those who sued over the project.
And what we're saying is that you need to look at all of the environmental harm, and frankly, the harm to the Colorado River corridor needs to be included, and the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals agreed with us.
The 7 counties in Utah pushing the project appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, who took the case.
It is designed to inform government decision-making, not paralyze it.
In arguments, the justices looked at the limits of the National Environmental Protection Act, which examines the impact of development projects.
Because you want absolute rules that make no sense.
With respect, I guess you'll decide whether they make sense.
So many different agencies are involved, so many different environmental checks are in place on land, air, water, pollution. What is NEPA adding to the substantive statutes, and how should that affect how we think about NEPA in terms of what the judicial role is with respect to enforcing NEPA?
As it's currently applied in the D.C. Circuit and the Ninth Circuit, NEPA is adding a juicy litigation target for project opponents.
But lawyers for Eagle County and the environmental groups see it differently.
The impacts at issue here are reasonably foreseeable consequences of this $2 billion railway project, whose entire rationale is to transport crude oil.
Utah's Republican political leaders and the Ute tribes support the Uinta Basin Railway. In a statement, Governor Spencer Cox's office says he fully supports the construction of the railway, a critical infrastructure project that will help restore America's energy independence while delivering significant economic benefits to rural Utah. Requiring agencies to engage in speculative analysis of distant downstream impacts, as the D.C. Circuit Court has done, sets a dangerous precedent that jeopardizes energy-related projects nationwide.
We're worried because the National Environmental Policy Act is a bedrock environmental law that protects the public interest against a rampaging industry that wants to build whatever it wants, wherever it wants, without consequences.
A decision by the justices will come next year. In Salt Lake City, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.